Hello and welcome. Thank you for clicking on this video. This is a channel dedicated to mindful makeup consumption, and today's video is going to be a makeup inventory video. In January 2020, I started my project Use It All Up. The goal of this project is to use up all of the makeup that I had at that point of time. When I say goal, I mean it more as a finish line, because the actual goal of this project is not that. I mean, what I'm trying to achieve is not to use up the makeup, and it's definitely not to use it up as quickly as possible, because that I consider to be wasteful. The actual goal of this project is to observe how long it takes me to use up all of that makeup, and through that observation to learn to make better purchasing decisions and to become a more responsible makeup buyer and user. Let's get cracking on those numbers. Starting with foundation products, in January 2020 I had 3 primers, complexion primers, base primers, and I've already used those up, so the project is finished for that particular category, and I currently only have this primer, the Future Dew by Glossier, which I use as a primer and not very often at that. In January 2020 I had 7 corrector / concealer products, and I currently have 5, but only 4 of those are in the project, meaning that I used up 3 of the items that were in the project, and I bought one, a green corrector, because I had used up the one that was in the project. So I have 4 items that are left in the project plus another one. I hope that makes sense. In the same way, in January 2020, I only had 1 foundation, and I currently have 3 foundation products, but they're not in the project because I used up the one that was in the project. And by the way, I like having 3 foundation type products because one of those is a tinted moisturizer, which is more of an everyday type of product for me, and I like having 2 foundations for variety's sake. At the start of the project I had 2 setting sprays. I currently only have this one left and only a little bit left of it at that. And I think 1 is the number I'm going to be maintaining from now on. Moving on to eye makeup, which is by far the largest, most extensive category for me. At the beginning of 2020 I had 2 eyeshadow primers, a regular one and a glitter one, and currently I still have 2. It's just that I've already used up the regular one, so there is 1 eyeshadow primer that is in the project, and it's the glitter one. I used to have 13 pencil eyeliners at the start of the project, and currently 8 of those are still in the project, and the total number of pencil eyeliners that I have is 11. Out of the 3 that I bought after the start of the project, 2 are replacements, a black one and a brown one, and the gold one from Urban Decay is something that I probably shouldn't have bought, meaning that I broke the rules of the project by buying it, but I realized that I'd broken the rules only after I'd bought the eyeliner, so oops. Next category is gel eyeliners. I had 2, I still have 2. They're the same ones, so no change in that category. I had 3 liquid eyeliners at the start of the project. I still have the same 3, plus another one which is brand new and which I got in a goodie bag from Cult Beauty. I used to have 4 mascaras at the start of 2020. I currently have 3. 1 that I'm currently using, plus 2 which are brand new and are not opened yet, but those 3 are different products, so the project is finished for mascaras as well. Now eyeshadows. At the start of the project I had 75 eyeshadows across my eyeshadow palettes, and 66 of those are still in the project. However, since the beginning of this project, my eyeshadow and my palette collection actually grew. How did that happen? Well, for starters, I got 2 Natasha Denona mini palettes in 2 goodie bags from Cult Beauty, and that's sort of okay according to the rules of my project, because in those goodie bags what I was getting was mostly skincare, and I wasn't going to forego getting a goodie bag just because of a random mini palette in it, right? So that's sort of okay. But at the end of 2021 I actually broke the rules of my project by getting a Colourpop palette, the Inner Trance palette, and I bought it knowing full well that I was breaking the rules of my project. However, I really wanted that palette because I thought it was filling a gap in my eyeshadow collection, because I didn't have any pastels in it, and so far I'm really liking that palette. I'm getting quite a lot of use out of it, and I think that by using it and by combining those eyeshadows with other eyeshadows that normally I wouldn't use and which are part of my collection, I'm actually getting use out of the eyeshadows that I wouldn't normally use, if that makes sense. Or as someone said, when it comes to self-justification, we're all geniuses. Eyeshadow duos, I used to have 3 and each one contains 2 eyeshadows, duh. So I still have the same 3 duos with 6 eyeshadows, and those are technically highlighters from Fenty. However, I can't use them as highlighters, so I use them as eyeshadows. Next subcategory is single eyeshadows. I had 11 at the start of the project, and I still have 11, although only 10 of these are in the project, because in 2021, or was it? No, in 2020, I bought a new one. At the start of 2020, I had 7 face powders, which I repurposed as eyeshadows, and I still have 7 repurposed products. That's because I used one up, but then I added a highlighter that initially I thought that I would be using as a highlighter, but it turned out to be too dark for me, to the number of repurposed products, so I still have 7. So the number of eyeshadows that I had at the beginning of the project was 99, and currently I have 109 eyeshadows. However, out of those 109, 89 are still in the project. At the current rate that I'm going, which is 5 eyeshadows a year, it will take me approximately 18 years to use up those 89 eyeshadows. However, I'm cautiously optimistic that it's not going to take me that long, because I've been making good progress and hitting pan on a lot of eyeshadows, and sooner or later I'm going to start using up more than 5 eyeshadows a year. Fingers crossed. And by saying fingers crossed, I don't mean that I'm in a hurry, but you know, eyeshadows expire sooner or later, and also I don't think it's practical to keep going for 18 years. We're still in the eye makeup category, so at the start of 2020 I had 4 special products, and I currently have 3 of those still in the project, and those special products are an eye gloss, a lid lacquer, and a glitter roll-on. I also had 2 eyebrow products. I still have 2 eyebrow products, however they're not the same products, so the project has finished for eyebrow products as well. Moving on to cheek products, in January 2020 I had 8 blushes and I currently have 5, so I haven't added any new blushes, which means that those 5 are still in the project. Highlighters, I used to have 9, now I have 6, because I used up 2 and 1 I moved to the eyeshadow category. No change whatsoever in the bronzer category. I used to have 3, I still have those same 3. And the last big category is lip products. In January 2020 I had 3 lip balms. I still have 3 lip balms, however they're not the same products, so the project is finished for lip balms as well. I also had 3 lip glosses. I still have 3 lip glosses, but only 1 is still in the project, and although I've categorized it as a lip gloss, it's actually the opposite of that because it's a mattifying product which you can add on top of a satin or a glossy lipstick to make it matte. Now, when it comes to lipsticks, in which category I have included both bullet lipsticks and liquid lipsticks. In January 2020, I had 19. Now I have 16, and out of those 16, 13 are in the project. And now let's talk about the grand total. In January 2020, I used to have 196 makeup items, and the current total is 193, so not a lot of difference. However, the number of products that are in the project is 143, so quite a lot of progress there, and I'm glad of it because that means that I've used up quite a lot of products that probably would have gone bad. Also, on a positive note, the project is complete for base primers, foundation, lip balm, mascaras and brow products. I'm actually having a lot of fun managing this project and filming these videos, and I hope you enjoy watching them as well. If you like my content, why don't you subscribe? That's all for today. Thank you so much for staying till the end of this video with me. Enjoy wearing your makeup, enjoy living your life. Thanks so much once again. See you soon. Bye bye.